Welcome to SportsBeat KC, the Kansas City Star's daily sports podcast. It's Monday, November 1st, and I'm Blair Kirchhoff. Kansas City has a new team nickname. The Kansas City Current is the new name of the NWSL team that finished up its first season on Saturday night. In fact, the Current was revealed at halftime of the game, and the team wore the new crest in the second half. So, what do you think? Star soccer reporter Shaun Goodwin and I discussed the new identity on today's show. After a break, we switched the topic to Sporting Kansas City, coming off a Sunday loss at Minnesota. What does that mean for Sporting's chances of landing the Western Conference top seed? We talk about that. And of course, we had to chat about the amazing stretch of Johnny Russell. The guy's been on a tear lately, and we'll tell you how that continued on Sunday. So let's get going talking soccer with Shaun Goodwin. Hello, Shaun. How you doing today?
I'm great, Blair. It's been a big weekend, lots of news, lots of games. So I've been looking forward to this chat.
So much news that the last time we chatted, which was late last week, that we were toying around with the idea. You had an inkling that KC NWSL was going to make a major announcement on a stadium. We decided not to talk about it on that show. And of course, the next morning, the news broke that that is going to happen, that the team then known as KC NWSL was going to have a new stadium. So there was the first piece of news to break involving the Kansas City women's professional soccer team, but not the latest news to break. You were there Saturday night for the big ceremony, the unveiling of the new nickname for the team. Tell us how that went, and just what your observations are. And then I want to hear your thoughts on the new name, the Kansas City Current.
For sure. So the Kansas City Current, which, as you said, Blair, was announced on Saturday. Before we get into it all, our good friend Ali Trost, our beloved friend Ali, who has not been on the podcast with us for so long, she basically did the presentation of the whole thing, and she was so good. I think I was chatting to her after the game. It was crazy. They the stadium announced it, introduced her onto the field, and the whole stadium just lost their mind. Not because of the KC Current or nothing, it's Ali Trost, and they all lost their mind. So she did a great job. So just wanted to say that to the world. The actual announcement itself, it's a light show, and there's video on the board, and there was just over 6,300 fans in the stadium, and they were all given light up wristbands. So I have the video on my Twitter, and it's actually in the story online, where you just look around the stadium and it's just everywhere. And basically, the bowl, you can see the horseshoe of a baseball stadium. Just light up wristbands was great. And then, of course, they unveiled the KC Current, which seems to have been very well received, both in the stadium and then I asked a question on Twitter and probably got 50 odd responses. And I'd say 40 or 45 of those were positive. So, when you're looking at those kind of numbers, you've usually done a pretty good job.
I agree. Pete Gradhoff, who does the column for Pete's Sake and writes several stories every week for the Kansas City Star, put a poll out there, just thumbs up or down on the nickname, and it was running 70-34. So you're right. Whenever a new name is introduced, a new nickname, everybody has an opinion, even if they're not connected or a fan of the team. Everybody's going to have an opinion, and this one seems to have been received very well. So, what you have thoughts on nicknames? You have stronger thoughts on this than I do, and we're joined in the Goodwin household by I forgot her name again. What's her name?
This is Bandit right here.
There we go, Bandit. Very, very nice.
Yeah, I just had to lock Gloria downstairs. She's the loud one. He's happy to just chill.
Very good, and chilling he is. So what are your thoughts on the nickname? It's such an American thing, isn't it? Teams have to have nicknames.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've had this discussion here a couple of times, and I am the boring Euro snob traditionalist of the FC and the United and the City and so on and so forth. But they've won for Kansas City Current, which especially you look around the NWSL itself, the team would have been alone if it just went with a United or with an FC. So you've won for Kansas City Current, which it's got one of those. It has got a double meaning. I mean, I've had long discussions with Chris and Angie Long, the co-owners, with Amber Cox, Pam Kramer, just people within the organisation who has helped create this wonderful, creative team that we've now got in Kansas City. So yeah, you've got the Current, which is on its easy, basic level, it's the current of the Missouri River. It's what this city was built on. It's calm on top and fierce underneath. That's their whole, kind of idea about it. That's the easy sell. But I think what a lot of people don't necessarily understand, and this is where I think they should really push this over this off-season really, is a big part of it is, it's a team and it's a city that's in the now, it's in the current. It's a team for everyone. When I was chatting to Amber and Pam, it's a team for her, for him, for they, for them, for the city. It's not just a small sect, and it shows where the city is going and how the team is going to be on the forefront of that. So that's the other side of it being current. I do think now in the off season, if the team, like the water side is easy to market. You've got graphics, you can show that easy. It's on the logo. We have the 3 currents. I think if they push not the actual meaning, but the other meaning of it being, the more for everyone in the next couple of months, it will catch on a lot more than it is right now. Because a lot of what I've heard is a lot more praise for the new crest. And then, like I said, 75% happy about the name, and there's got 25% that don't really know the true meaning. So if you don't, check it out on kansascity.com. I've got you covers.
There you go. Well, a couple of things. I like the idea of the current as present tense, and as somebody who's worked in the newspaper world for more than 40 years, it's always about being current and up to date, and I like that aspect of it. At least that's how I will. That'll be a shared interpretation for me for the team name. And you mentioned the Missouri River. The new stadium is going to be built on the Missouri River, so there's that a little bit of a synergy there that you're just going to be able to walk or maybe go to the top row and look over, depending on what side you're sitting on, and look out over the currents of the Missouri River. So good. Listen, a well thought out name for this. There were some other what were the other finalists for the nickname? What others were being considered?
Yeah, so again, I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, Fountain City KC would have been great," or something along those lines, and that ties into the FC KC, of course, the old team FC Kansas City. I never like that name. Again, even that's even too much to me in my Euro snobbiness. Fountain City KC or FC, just because it doesn't even include the city name. If you're not from Kansas City, you don't know about the Fountains. Let's be honest. If you're looking down a list of NWSL names and you see Fountain City, no one. If you don't know the league already, I'm sorry. People aren't going to have a clue. I'm sorry, it sounds nice, but it was never going to fly. So that was scrapped fairly early. Another one that was in there was until pretty late. There's a couple of like top 3 or top 5. They were looking at names to tie into the whole loyalty of Kansas City. Like the Kansas City Royals, the KC Monarchs, and people have their opinions on this, but to an extent, the Kansas City Chiefs. So, you know, there was games thrown around like the Majesty. You know, guys going, I was told there might have been more. But I was told that they didn't want a name handed to them. They wanted to earn it. So they kind of scrapped the Majesty. And then, like, there was other stuff that, you know, I wasn't given specifics, but there was like storms and rain and crossroads, just ideas like that. But they eventually landed on the currents, which I did find out wasn't actually on their initial list of names. And they did a couple of founder members surveys, and then at the first game of the season did a fan survey across the whole stadium. And people could suggest names, and a couple of people actually suggested Current, which is I don't know if they, you know, had the whole dual meaning like idea, but essentially that name at least was born out of some fan out there. So if you're one of those fans who put the Current in a survey back in March, April, well done. You've became a part of history.
The other thing I like about it is I don't know off the top of my head another team that is named the Current. It is
it's unique. Yeah,
absolutely unique, right? In American sports. So that's a pretty cool aspect. So this happened on Saturday night. The team made it. They had the debut, or they unveiled the nickname, and I saw the video that you took and posted on your Twitter account. So that's how I saw it. Wish the team had played better in the home finale, but as we have mentioned weekly, that this team did turn a corner this season, and they finished strong, you know, with their streak of home games. Yeah, and that came to an end on Saturday, as did the season.
Yeah, came to an end, a 7-game unbeaten home streak. You know, I chatted to Hugh and Kiki Pickett, and especially Hugh, you know, he just like, that's the best team they've faced all year. You know, obviously the Rain go on to finish second in the league behind Portland, and they're obviously gearing up for the playoffs and apparently peaking at the right time. And they were really good. I mean, the Rain, for what we've seen in recent weeks from Kansas City, like I said, 7-game unbeaten streak at home, you know, you picked up a couple of ties on the road. Like, they were playing good soccer and taking shots from all angles, all distances. The Rain, they just shut down Kansas City in midfield, in all honesty. Kansas City had 6 shots all game, but only one of those was on target. And Kansas City couldn't get sustained possession, or, you know, a sustained flow. It was just completely disrupted by the Rain. So, yeah, it's a tough way to end the season. Luckily, Kansas City had the whole celebration of the new name and whatnot, which I wrote half a story, and sometimes my stories cross slightly into column with a little bit of newsworthiness to it. And I wrote on Friday, it was they could have just went into Saturday's game, like, all right, inaugural season, great, we finished last place, wasn't great, we're just going to close the book and go on to next season. But they said, no, we're going to make this a celebration. We're going to, you know, we've announced a new training facility on the riverfront, a new stadium on the riverfront. And, you know, before we move on to sporting and all that, you know, soccer stuff, I just want to say, at the end of the day, you hear expansion teams, they give themselves a year or two. You know, originally Kansas City and DeLong's idea was, you know, to have a year and a bit to create a team. And obviously everything happened with Utah, and there was a team ready to go. But, you know, Angel City, look over the MLS side, you've got St. Louis and Charlotte recently. You know, they've taken a couple of years to get things ready. In the middle of a pandemic, Kansas City's like, well, we're going to announce a team, win it in December, and get ready to play in April. Yeah, that's virtually unheard of, right? So, you know, that's an achievement within itself. They got the team ready to go in that short of span. They've announced everything. So, I guess getting back to my original point before I keep rambling on, yeah, they make Saturday a celebration of everything they've achieved in year one. And despite the results, it was a really good time for the fans. It was a fun night. So good on them.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoyed reading your game story where the team came out in the current uniforms in the second half, right? And so there was a sports writer who's covering the game. You've got to figure out a way to refer to the team, which changed its name during the game. You did a good job with that, and basically just called it KC.
Yeah, I went with KC for the first half. As soon as they came out, it's good currents. I had to switch to good currents.
Right.
That was a fun one to deal with.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, Shaun, let's take a break. And when we come back, let's talk about Sporting Kansas City. Hey, it's Blair. We have a special subscription offer for SportsBeat KC listeners, unlimited digital access to the Kansas City Star's award-winning sports coverage. Sign up now for 1 year of Sports Pass for access to all the sports news, features, and columns presented on the kansascity.com site, and it's only $30. That's a 40% savings off our regular rate. Your subscription will automatically renew after the initial term at $50 unless you tell us to cancel. Your subscription helps support the sports coverage of kansascity.com and the Kansas City Star, and that support has never been more important. Please visit kansascity.com/SportsBeatKC offer to get this special offer. And as always, thanks for listening. We're back with Shaun Goodwin talking soccer. And Sporting Kansas City had an interesting several days. Let's go in reverse order here. Sunday's game, Sporting goes to Minnesota. They get the early lead. Yep. Really, really nice set piece goal. Wasn't it nice? It ended up on the foot of Kyrie Shelton, who knocked it home on a play that started as a corner kick, but just you could tell it's a play that they had worked on for that play was practiced.
Yes, straight from the training ground. Even before the corner, it looked like Messinger from Minnesota. He could have let the ball roll out for a goal kick. He could have just cleared it away. And I also know where here comes Gadi Kinder. Improbably wings the ball on the byline, wings a corner out of it. And then, King takes the corner, plays a quick 1-2 short corner with Cam Duke and cross to the back post. Johnny Russell heads it down to the middle. And here's Kyrie Shelton, exactly where he's supposed to be, to basically smash it into the roof of the net from 6 yards out. So wonderfully crafted corner kick routine. It's you practice those kind of plays on the training ground a lot. But, the defence, when you're in practice, the defence knows what's going to happen. It's not a game situation. To go and do that in a game where there's so many variables and the defenders on the other team could be standing anywhere, doing anything, to have something like that actually come off, massively impressive. And then it all went downhill.
Yes, it did. The result was a 2-1 loss and a missed opportunity for Sporting. Look, but playing a team, I believe Peter Vermees said afterwards, and you knew going in, pretty desperate Minnesota team playing for the playoff lives. So, listen, you tip your hat to Minnesota. They played like that.
Yeah, they did. They came into the game in 8th place in the standings, 1 place outside of the playoffs. And honestly, because they made it to the conference finals last year, obviously, before finally losing. Beat Kansas City on the way there. Am I blanking now? Oh, no, conference finals, yeah.
No, you got it.
Yeah. I was thinking MLS Cup for a second, but no. But I came into the season expecting the top 4 to be Sporting KC, Seattle, LAFC, which I'm a bit off, and then Minnesota. Obviously Minnesota, they lost their first 4 games of the season. So they were playing catch-up for the first half of the season already. So they've done well enough to be where they are. But they come into it in 8th place. As things stand, 5th, but plenty of teams still have to play midweek games. LAFC actually plays, or LA Galaxy plays tonight against Seattle, so that could drop Minnesota down. Big game for Sporting KC as well, obviously. But yeah, enough chat about Minnesota and about Sporting KC and how it affects them. Yeah, even a tie was a put Sporting in good stead because they would have been the same amount of games as Seattle with one extra point. As it stands, Sporting, Seattle, they're both 58 points. They both have the same amount of wins, which means they'll go down to goal difference. Right now, Sporting has a one better goal difference, but who knows what either team can do in these final two games. So even a tie, yes, because they would have put Sporting in better stead, but now we're in a little bit of a stickier situation.
Right. They got Daniel Shalhoub back for the Minnesota game, but
too much, unfortunately. But
yeah, the goal scoring magic wasn't there for him. The point scoring magic was there for Johnny Russell, but his streak of consecutive games with a goal came to an end. It was at 8, which is matches the fourth or fifth longest streak.
Fifth longest, yeah.
Fifth longest in MLS history. And it turns out the last game in which he scored a goal, he was just simply spectacular. LA Galaxy last week. And we did not get a chance to talk about it. We recorded before the game. But I was just, what can you say about Johnny Russell? We spent, seems like, 60% of the season talking about Daniel Shalhoub, and then now we can't stop talking about Johnny Russell. What an amazing stretch of games, and to cap that streak with the 2-goal game that he had against the LA Galaxy, just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, if Johnny had been playing like this all season, he'd be right in the MVP discussion. Obviously, scoring in 8 straight games helps, but at the end of the day, the guy now has 14 goals and 8 assists. That's only 2 behind Daniel Shalhoub for goals and the same amount of assists. It's just got Daniel's spread got over the season, while Johnny's has come in a very quick flurry of, a 8 to 10 game span. Again, even this Minnesota game this past weekend, he got an assist. It's a captain stepping up for his team, right? The first 10, 12 games of the season, I've chatted about this with him. He was coming back from an injury he suffered right at the start of the season. And didn't get a goal for 10 to 12 games, and everyone was like, where's the Johnny Russell magic gone? And he understood it himself. He wasn't happy with it, and he's made up for some lost time. He's past his second half of the season, really. But yeah, if he'd been playing like this all season, who knows what kinds of numbers he could be putting up right now. So for Sporting fans, it's great heading into the playoffs. And then you cross your fingers that continues next year too.
Right. So he was MLS Player of the Week for last week. And the other item we should mention, the first goal that he had against the LA Galaxy was his first right-footed goal of the year, which I did a double take when I saw it. I was stunned. I didn't know he had that kind of power with the right leg. It's obviously, he wouldn't be where he is without it. But that was, I think that caught everybody a little bit off guard to see him boot it with the right leg.
Yeah. I mean, the goalkeeping wasn't great. You usually shouldn't be beating a post like that.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, still a great goal. I'm trying to pull up now on Transfer Market as I type how many right-footed goals he's had in his career. There we go. In his career, he has had, if it'll tell me, not many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He's had 17 right-footed goals in his career.
And how many total? Out of how many total?
Out of how many total?
Over 100, right? More than 100.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. 50. Yeah, it's too early to be doing math, but over 100, I can tell you that. A little bit over 100.
And those would include tap-ins or just stuff near the goal. I mean, that's a right foot could be just happen to be the ball on your right foot at the moment.
Yeah. No, he has in his career, or even just with Sporting KC, since he arrived in 2018, he's had 4 right-footed goals. Yes, his first this season, he had 1 in MLS's back against Real Salt Lake and 2 in 2018. And that's it. And the fella scored a lot of goals for Sporting KC. So when only 4 of them were with his right foot, and he plays on the right wing, right. He's the Scottish Arjen Robben, where, for years, Robben, cutting on his left, what he's going to do? He's going to cut in on his left foot and shoot for that top right corner. You knew he'd do it, and he'd still do it. And that's like Johnny Russell. He's going to get inside the box and usually cutting onto his left foot. But he gave one on his right this time round, and it paid off.
Yeah, it was terrific. All right, tell us what Sporting's got coming up this week, Shaun.
Yeah, so big game against Austin FC on Wednesday at 8 p.m. That is the one where, we're talking about goal difference. Austin's caused Sporting a little bit of trouble in their games earlier this season, to be fair, but at the end of the day, it's a team who took to the bottom of the standings. They have been all year. A win for Austin can take them off the bottom, so that might be a little bit of motivation for them. Go take over Houston, in-state rivals. But, we're chatting about goal difference. If you're the top team in the West, or maybe second at that point, and you're playing last place, you got to put up a couple of goals, right? So that should be the goal for Sporting, not just win, but get a good couple of goals so you've got a goal differential cushion. And then we head to decision day on Sunday at home against Real Salt Lake. So at least Sporting's home, but Salt Lake, you could be looking at another Minnesota situation. Obviously things can change between now and then, but as things stand, they're in 8th place in the standings, but just 4 points behind Portland, who are in 4th, and just 1 point ahead of LAFC in 9th. So it's a really exciting end to the Western Conference regular season. And at the end of the day, I think it's, if you win on decision day, you're probably in. If you lose on decision day, you're probably out, unless you're fortunate. It's that close. So Real Salt Lake rivalry game, it's kind of diminished in recent years, probably since Benny Fieldharbour left the team.
Right.
Him and Beckerman. But yeah, no, huge game. So that's on Sunday at 5, and that will be the end of the regular season.
Right. We'll know the playoff bracket by the end of Sunday, and then we will talk about it with Shaun Goodwin next week. Shaun, great catching up.
You too, Blair.
That'll do it for today. Thanks to our SportsBeat KC production staff of Beth Welsh, Monty Davis, Jeff Rosen, and Chris Fickett. Tip of the cap to Shaun Goodwin for stopping by and talking soccer. Links to his stories can be found in the show notes and on kansascity.com. Hey, let's talk about the morning sports edition. If you're not seeing it, you're really missing out. On kansascity.com, go to the Star Z edition. Of course, that's the replica of the printed newspaper on your screen that comes with your digital subscription. Well, now there's an updated sports section produced separately that goes along with it. When you open the e-edition, there's a box in the upper right-hand corner that says All Editions. Click on that, and you can access about 15 to 25, some days as many as 50 to 60 pages of sports. You also can get it through your email. I do, and it's there by about 6 a.m. every morning. However you see it, you know what I'm talking about. It's complete coverage of the previous day's sports news, features, statistics, everything. It's fantastic. Hey, listen, thanks for reading the Star and listening to our podcast lineup. You're helping support the best sports and news coverage in Kansas City, and we couldn't produce programs like SportsBeat KC without you. We'll be back on Tuesday with another episode. We'll be breaking down the Chiefs' Monday Night Football game against the New York Giants. Hope you'll tune in then.